Child's pose is a soft, soothing posture that gently stretches the back, folds the legs, and provides rest. In addition to being a quieting pose, it is a pose you can take in class when you need rest. To begin, place your shins on the floor with your toes touching. Separate your knees slightly wider than your hips and lower your sitting bones toward your heels. Hinge forward from your pelvis and walk your hands in front of you. Slowly lower your torso all the way to your thighs and rest your forehead on the floor. Place your head on a block or a blanket if it doesn't comfortably come to the ground. Rest your elbows, forearms, and palms on the floor in front of you. Make sure that your neck is comfortable. As you settle in, direct your breath into your lower back and side ribs. Feel the gentle expansion of your back body as you inhale. Feel the subtle release of your body as you exhale. Deepen the pose by allowing your body to sink more deeply into the ground. Observe the fold of your legs, the relaxation of your abdomen, and the release of your arms. Yoga teaches us to open and expand our body, but it also encourages us to turn inward and find a sense of shelter. Appreciate the state of quietude, relaxation, and reflection for one more breath. To lift out of the pose, place your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself upright. Pause for a moment and feel the aftertaste of the pose. ADHO MUKHA SVANASANA is a powerful pose for decompressing your spine and creating a feeling of spaciousness throughout your entire body. Finding the appropriate distance between your hands and feet in downward facing dog is essential. Begin face down on your sticky mat and place your fingertips in line with the center of your chest. Press up to all fours and keep your hands and feet where they are. Transition into the pose by tucking your toes under and lifting your hips toward the ceiling. Straighten your knees, draw your thighs back, and lift your hips higher. Engage your quadriceps by drawing them up. Complement this by reaching your heels down. Most practitioners' heels don't touch the floor, so don't let your mind or ego get caught up in this detail. With your breath strong and steady, begin refining the pose by bringing your attention to your hands. See that the front of your wrists are parallel to the front of your mat. Spread your fingers and press down through the base of your fingers. Extend strongly through your arms so that your elbows are straight. Gently spiral your elbow creases forward to align your shoulders and broaden the inner border of your shoulder blades. As you reach strongly through your arms, press your thighs back and feel your spine getting longer. Breathe deeply and smoothly as you create length, space, and strength in your entire body. Lower your knees to the floor in order to release the pose. Plank pose is an essential element in sun salutations that builds strength and integration in the upper body, abdomen, and legs. As you practice it, engage these areas of your body simultaneously to help keep your hips and legs from collapsing. Begin in downward facing dog. Rock forward until your shoulders are directly above your wrists and your forearms are vertical. Your entire body should resemble a plank of wood. Spread your fingers wide apart, root down through the base of your fingers, and press the floor away from you. Rotate your elbow creases toward your thumbs and lift the back of your heart to broaden the inner border of your shoulder blades. Now, draw your navel toward your spine and lengthen your tailbone toward your heels. Notice how this prevents your lower back from collapsing and keeps your ribs and pelvis integrated. Firm the front of your thighs strongly to support the weight of your pelvis. Keep your head in the same plane as the rest of your body. Don't let it drop. Feel this intensity and breathe smoothly. To release the pose, slowly lower your knees to the floor and rest in child's pose. When you build a well-aligned Bhujangasana, you build your foundation for all other back bends. The pose strengthens and tones the arms, back, and shoulders, opens the chest and expands the lungs, and it stretches your spine. Lie face down in your sticky mat and establish the foundation of your pose. Place your hands in line with the center of your chest and spread your fingers wide apart. Press down through the top of your feet, anchor your pubic bone into the mat, and draw your tailbone toward your heels. Now that your foundation is set, engage your shoulder blades against your back and lift your chest away from the floor without using your arms. Take a smooth cycle of breath. Now, deepen your pose by pressing your hands into the floor, hugging your elbows against your sides, and partially straightening your arms. Lift your breastbone higher and observe your spine. Ideally, your lower, mid, and upper back will have a similar degree of sensation and curvature. If you feel any sharp, painful sensations along your spine, lower down a bit. If not, continue to straighten your arms as you root your pubic bone and lengthen your legs. Expand your chest. Once you've come up to your maximum without strain, focus on your breath. Imagine that you have gills in your lower back and that your breath is creating space and release in this region. Slowly lower down to the floor, keeping your elbows pressed against your outer ribs and your shoulder blades drawn away from your ears. Cross your forearms and rest your forehead on them. VRKSASANA introduces the element of balance into your yoga practice, but don't be surprised if it invokes a state of imbalance. And don't be concerned about falling out of the pose. Just practice beginning again without judging yourself. You can also support yourself by using a wall until your posture strengthens and stabilizes. Begin in Tadasana. Bend your right knee, grasp your right shin as close to your ankle as possible, and place your right foot on your inner left thigh. Place both hands on your hips. Elongate through your standing leg and firmly squeeze your right foot and left thigh together. If you're unable to lift your foot all the way onto your thigh, simply bring your foot to your ankle. With your foot pressing firmly into your standing leg, align both of your hip points so that they are facing straight forward. As you do this, gently draw your right knee back. Fold your palms together so that your thumbs touch your heart. Firm your shoulder blades into your back in order to lift and broaden your chest. Inhale, lengthen your torso, and reach your arms up, shoulder width apart. Invigorate your arms, straighten your elbows, and turn your palms to face each other. In order to help you balance, softly gaze toward a fixed point in front of you. If you notice that you are holding your breath and becoming rigid, practice releasing this unnecessary tension. Soften your eyes and jaw while you deepen your breath. Slowly lower your arms and right leg in order to release the pose. Now, take your second side. UTTHITA TRIKONASANA is a thorough posture. It creates a feeling of spaciousness in the body and builds strength. As your body expands out in many different directions, You must also learn to keep it integrated and stable. Begin triangle pose by finding your stride. Bring your hands to your hips, step your feet wide apart, and turn your right foot out. Turn your back foot slightly in and align your heels with each other. Gently engage both of your thighs, keeping your hands on your pelvis so that you're sensitive to its movement. Hinge at your right hip crease and bring your right hip bone towards your right thigh bone. Be sure that you're hinging from your hips rather than your waist. Lower your bottom hand to a block. Observe the degree of sensation in your front leg and determine which block height is going to give you a challenge without creating strain. Shift your attention to your ribs and elongate both sides evenly. Lengthen through your spine and spread your breath throughout your body. Root down through your bottom arm and reach your top arm strongly towards the ceiling. Spread your collarbones and open the front of your heart and lungs. Gently rotate your abdomen and ribs towards the ceiling. Gaze straight forward with relaxed eyes. A common mistake is to let your torso swing forward and the hips swing back. Instead, see that your torso, hips, legs, and feet are in the same plane. Over time, you may be able to bring your bottom hand to the floor and turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. But for now, from where you are, breathe in feeling both expansive and steady. Using an inhalation, press through your legs and lift up to standing. Pause for a moment with your feet parallel before taking your second side. SETU BANDHA SARVANGASANA is a deep yet accessible back bend that stretches the chest, neck, thighs, and spine. Practice rooting down through your feet and arms in the pose to create greater depth in your spine, but be careful not to flatten your neck into the floor. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Initiate the pose by gently pressing your lower back down so that your tailbone curls slightly up. Root through your feet and begin to peel your hips away from the floor. Mindfully roll up, vertebra by vertebra, and keep your tailbone reaching toward the back of your knees. Focus on keeping your lower back long, distributing the arch evenly along your entire spine. Tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. Hold the outer edges of your sticky mat, or interlace your fingers and burrow downward into the mat with your arms. Breathe slowly and deeply into your abdomen. Lengthen your tailbone and your lower back as you shift your attention to your legs. Align your thighs so that they are parallel to each other and position your knees directly over your ankles. Your shins should be vertical. Root down through the base of your big toes and float your pelvis just a touch higher. Expand your chest, heart, and lungs as your breath saturates your front body. Practice deepening your pose without losing the integrity of your alignment or sacrificing the comfort of your lower back and knees. Take one more expansive inhalation, then exhale slowly and lower yourself down to the floor. Observe the sensations of your body and breath as you take a moment of stillness. Although simple in appearance, Shavasana embodies the complex yogic teachings of surrender, non-attachment, and self-awareness. Be attentive in your setup since a well-aligned, comfortable posture will provide your nervous system with deeper relaxation. To begin, lie back, bend your knees, and place the bottom of your feet on the floor. Pause for a moment and simply sense your back body as it rests on the ground. Lift your hips slightly. Place your thumbs on the top rim of your pelvis and back, and lengthen your buttock toward your heels. Lower your hips to the floor and feel the length of your lower back. Straighten your legs one at a time and separate your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Place your arms 45 degrees from your body, palms up. Close your eyes and set aside your daily thoughts. Focus your attention on the subtle sensation of your body relaxing and dropping into the floor. Begin doing a body scan from the tip of your toes to the crown of your head. Bring your attention into your legs. Release the inner thighs away from each other and let your outer thighs drop toward the floor. Allow your legs to sink into the ground as if your thighs had heavy weights on them. Move your attention up to your pelvis and imagine that your hip bones release away from each other, allowing your pelvic muscles and organs to release any vestige of tension. As you feel this relaxation, release any holding in your abdomen and diaphragm. Allow your breath to become even softer. Let the back of your arms sink into the floor and the muscles of your shoulders relax. Imagine that your heart area is soft, receptive, and free. As your upper body melts into the floor, soften your jaw and temples. Imagine that your brain slightly recedes away from your forehead and nestles into the back of your skull. After 5 to 15 minutes in the pose, slowly awaken your body by moving your fingers and toes. Roll to your right side and pause. Press your hands into the floor and use your arms to press your body up to a comfortable seat. Slowly open your eyes and give yourself a moment to absorb the quieting, calming effects of your practice.